Well, we're back. Oh, we're back. How I love this. Oh dear. So I think 5 of my last 6 runs that have made it through Fountainheads have died to either Demon or Ishin. So yeah, we have a bit of an incident. A slight situation with this for some reason that I just cannot beat them. Like this thing, like I swear I'm probably gonna no-hit these fights a couple times in a row here. And then if we get back there and runs, I just will not do it. I am on the lower attack power here. So this is still 10 attack power instead of the 12 we now use. So this fight lasts longer than it would in the run now. I just need to load up one of my Ishin files with lower attack power. It's such a long fight though. I need to get better at Ishin. The thing is I don't. Like, this is the thing that annoys me. I'm good at Ishin. I don't know why I've thrown him twice in a row in twice in a row in runs. Like, I'm good at Ishin. That's the bit I don't understand. I always forget he can do that in phase 3. I don't know how I've lost like 2 runs to Ishin now. I honestly do not know. Because like in practice I'm not getting hit by him. Like in practice I'm fine. It's only in runs that I seem to... I actually expected it that time, that's lucky. Yeah, that's a hitless demon, of course it is. Of course it is. Hitless demon on less attack power than I have in the run. Who would have guessed? This is not karma for Amber. Things that I don't think all of them have been nerves is the thing. Like the Sword Saint one that I lost, like the one that's still showing on the splits on the right, that run was not nerves. That, like, I just fucked up. So... Same thing with the demon run earlier today. It wasn't nerves, I just fucked up. Okay, can demon be in any worse of a position? Like, could demon actually be in any worse of a position? Like, neither of the ones today that cleared Fountainhead died to nerves. Which is the annoying thing. Easy cope excuse, yeah. How did that not hit me? Yeah, I'm never going to get hit by that again after losing that one run to it. Never going to get me again. Oh. Okay, it's going to do this again. So you can just like run in a snake like this. But that's what I should have done in the run earlier. Run around him like that instead of trying to do like a full circle. Because there wasn't really the space for a circle. Okay, I only do 4 after that. Holy shit, that was close. And he does it again. Not gonna get me. back-to-back hitless demons on 2 less attack power than I would have in the run. This is exactly what I meant. Like, I don't know why I'm losing so many runs. This is exactly what I meant. Why the fuck am I here? What's this save file? Actually, let me pull up this file. I wonder if this file's good. I was trying to get an Ishin file that isn't going to have a fuck ton of attack power. Dude, what is this file? Okay. So how much attack power do I have here? 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is 1 less attack power than I would have in the This is 1 less attack power than I will have in my run. So this fight will also go on for longer. But I don't know how I've managed to throw. Like, throwing to Demon, I understand. But Sword Saint gets me. I don't know how I've lost 2 runs to him. Like, it's not a difficult fight for me to do. Like, I should not be losing runs to this. I should not be losing runs to this. Game. Okay. Almost jumped off the edge. Okay, there's 1. Let's do another, like, 1 or 2. So I should not be losing runs to this. Just do one more Sword Saint. If it goes well, I might do an owl, given that he's now the final boss. And then we'll do runs. Oh wait, shit, it's the other way around. What is my game doing? I don't know if it's safe to do an attack there. I probably shouldn't. Okay, why does he always go towards the edge though? Can we stop being right up against the edge? Yeah, this is what I mean. 5 of my last 6 runs past Fountainhead have died to one of those 2 bosses, and I just did them both twice in a row with less attack power than I would have. Like, I don't understand how I've lost that many runs to them. It would be nice if you could just knock him off the edge, that is true. And given he's our new final boss, let's just do a quick owl. You gonna attack? Yep. Yep. Okay, we go again. Let's try again. See, this one, I mean, like, this is exactly what I thought would happen. Like, I get hit by them in runs, and then as soon as I go into practice, it's completely fine. How could I see this coming? That as soon as I do them in practice, it's completely fine. And it's only in runs where they go wrong. Well, we just need one run. I didn't actually look at the fake monk thing, did I? Given I failed it last run. Maybe should have investigated. As long as we don't have a, what was it, like last night where we just had 6 ones get past Gyobu, but none of them make it to Screen Monkeys or whatever it was. As long as we don't have a repeat of that tonight. I mean, part of it is nerves, but not all of it is the thing. For example, fighting Sword Saint in this position that he currently is, like after Headless Ape, I'm not going to be nervous. And so I don't know how I messed that up. Like yesterday when I lost the run to Sword Saint, but he was actually the final boss. I get being nervous for that, and yeah, that probably played a part, but I don't know. It's difficult to say whether it is or not. Yeah, I remember doing Hollow Knight Pantheons like a couple years ago, and like especially Pantheon 5. As soon as you sort of hit like Markoth, Grey Prince, Zote, that sort of area, where there's just like a spike in the boss difficulty, and then like being fearful of losing the half an hour or whatever it was it took you to get there. I mean, say a large part of it is definitely nerves, but that's not all of it, which is why I'm a bit confused. Like, why some of it just appears to be me, like, being bad. Dude, Pantheon 5 is fun. I doubt I could beat it, like, now, without practicing again, but Pantheon 5 is fun. I think it took me 5 attempts to beat it when I did it for my Platinum. But that's 5 attempts with like a lot of boss practice between them. I remember I had maybe like a week between my 4th and 5th attempts. I can't remember how much Hollow Knight I played in that week, but whenever I was just practicing bosses. It is a lot of fun. Like, Pantheon 5 is actually a lot of fun. Like, sure, it has a massive penalty for dying. But, like, dying to anywhere after floor, like, 30 is just super rough, but... So it is a lot of fun. Just some of the later bosses... Not even, like, the really difficult 3 at the end, but just some of the... Like, Grey Prince Zote Markoth. Especially Markoth. I'm surprised I never died to him in my Pantheon runs. Where they just get rid of the floor of the arena. I'm trying to think. I think my first run... I think my first Pantheon run died to Zote, Grey Prince Zote. Second... I want to say Failed Champion, but I'm not sure. I can't remember what my second died to. Third was Sly. Fourth was Absolute Radiance, and then fifth cleared it. I can't remember what my second death was, so I think it was Failed Champ. Although I do remember when I did Pantheon 4, I remember doing Pantheon 4 and like Pure Vessel is fucking difficult. I think after first unlocking Pure Vessel in Hall of Gods on Pantheon 4, I think I did the fight for like 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, I think I beat Pure Vessel 3 times. When I first like tried to beat Pantheon 4. So that fight, I think that's probably the hardest fight in the game for me, Pure Vessel. Like, I think Absolute Radiance, like on its own, like, as a standalone fight, isn't as difficult. I think a lot of Radiance's difficulty comes from it being the 40-second boss in a deathless boss rush. I think a lot of its difficulty just comes from that fact that it's like the last boss of the boss rush, and that if you die, you go all the way back to the start. Yeah, I know Umu... Doesn't Umu have, like... Umu has no floor either in Pantheons, does it? It has, like, the acid floor or something. Well, no, it doesn't have the acid floor, because I remember you can't even use it with Ismas, does it? It's just like... Isn't it just like a void or something that just damages you? So I'm pretty sure it doesn't even work with Ismas. Yeah, so the Pantheons are super tough. Like trying to do them for the first time. I remember even like Pantheons 1 and 2 I could not do for a bit. And 3. Like, I honestly really struggle with Sly. Like, I find that boss fight surprisingly difficult. Especially the second phase. I also remember like Traitor Lords just being bad at. Like a lot of the bosses that do double damage are quite rough. Although I remember the build that I used was just like full. The build I used was just full survivability, I remember, to try and counteract the double damage. Because I didn't switch to it right away, but... So I remember for Pantheon 5, the first 30 bosses I had like quick slash and this sort of stuff on. But I remember after whatever boss 30 was, which I think is Sly, I swapped to... I think it was quick focus, deep focus, unbreakable strength, grub song is what I used. So unbreakable strength, just the extra damage. Then grub song so that whenever I get hit, I get soul. Then obviously quick focus and deep focus in combo with each other was such a help. And like that carried me through the final couple bosses in Pantheon 5. So quick focus like shortens the amount of time it takes to heal. And then deep focus increases the amount of time it takes to heal, but you heal 2 masks at a time. So using those two together means that you heal at the normal speed, but you heal 2 masks at a time for the cost of like 1 mask's worth of soul. So for like a third of your soul bar, you heal 2 masks at a time at the normal healing speed. So I just went for like a full healer's build for the last like few bosses in Pantheon 5. And yeah, that got me through it. That was able to get me through the final bosses of it. Because like by that time, either bosses are just straight up doing 2 masks of damage at a time, or you know, or the bosses are fast enough that you only really have time to heal once at a time. So just trying to like maximize that 1 bit of healing that I got by also using deep focus. Absolute Radiance only gives you a few moments to heal. But I remember being able to find opportunities in like the first phase. And also, the thing with Absolute Radiance, your last chance to heal is like the phase with all the platforms in the middle. And it keeps like teleporting around. Like that's your last chance to heal. Like however many masks you have when that phase ends is what you have for the rest of the fight. Because you can't heal during the climb and you can't heal during like the final bit at the top. So it's like trying to get as many masks as I can to get up to like full health in that phase before I climb. And also hoping I don't get hit like 3 times on the way up. Also, like Pure Vessel, you can only heal like when it's staggered. I could only heal on Pure Vessel when it was staggered. I think that was probably... I think that was probably the hardest thing for me to adapt to. from like Souls games to Hollow Knight. I think the hardest thing to adapt to is the fact that like in FromSoft games or in like the majority of Souls likes, you can just heal whenever you want. Like it doesn't matter where the boss is most of the time, or like if you've just been hit or not, you can basically heal whenever you want. But in Hollow Knight you have to pick like very, very specific like attacks and like staggers and things. You know, you get far fewer opportunities to heal. I think that was one of like probably the hardest thing for me to adapt to. I can't just, you know, get hit by a boss and then immediately heal that HP back. And that's the thing, sometimes like... Because I remember when I did my first playthrough, I played on the like on the joystick. So even though obviously it's 4 directions, I played on the joystick. And then after that I swapped to playing with the D-pad. I honestly think the D-pad helped more. Or because like sometimes when I use the joystick, I would dash like the wrong way, you know? Because I like didn't move it to the correct position before dashing or this sort of thing, and you would do the wrong thing like that. Then after like going to the D-pad, it helped a lot. I think the same thing with casting, like spells. Like, because if you use spells like the normal one where it's the same button as healing, then if you try to like use a spell or you try to heal but you don't hold it down like long enough, then you just accidentally use a spell and like waste your soul when you don't heal. And then I swapped to like the dedicated spell button, so that I had spell and healing on like different buttons, so I didn't make that mistake again. Yeah, I've never actually tried it on keyboard. I've never tried Hollow Knight on keyboard. I've only done it on controller. But I definitely think like the D-pad is way better than the joystick to play. Like far fewer like misinputs, like wrong inputs. Shit. Thought for a second that I was going to mess up that deflect, because I never like... I never block that attack, because I don't have Makiri yet. And I thought it would kill him and then it didn't. How should I know if he's going to shoot arrows? He like does a... I'm trying to describe how he moves his feet, but he does like a sort of shimmy backwards, like it further into the corner. Because normally if he's not in the corner, you know how he'll do like a step backwards before he starts firing arrows? So you can basically see him do that step. But of course, because he's in the corner, he doesn't go anywhere. So I was basically looking for a foot movement. And then I can just dodge through it. Dodge through the first arrow, and then the other 3 will just go over my head. I mean, Genny isn't like the hardest fight to do normally, personally, but like given we have the option to cheese, I'd much rather just do that for safety. I do still mess it up occasionally, but it's definitely safer for me to do that instead of like trying to just fight the phase normally. Even though like I do trust that I could do the phase normally most of the time. So I don't think I messed the Genny cheese up as much as the fake monk cheese. But I do mess it up like not a like high amount, but occasionally. In fairness, like, okay, the times, I think I've only like once or twice messed up the actual cheese itself recently. Most of the recent times have been like actually getting him into the corner in the first place. He's like done something weird and I've messed that up. But once he's actually in the corner, I very rarely screw up the actual cheese itself. I mean, except for the time that I literally did it. Except for the time that I literally messed up the actual cheese earlier today. But we'll ignore that. Only staying a week in Barbados? Oh really? What a coincidence. What a coincidence. No, will as in we will. Yeah, I guess that can happen if your name sounds very similar to like a normal phrase. Yeah, we will. Please the aggro. Thank you. And up we go. Don't know how Gunfort's become more consistent lately. I don't actually know what I've been doing differently from what I used to do. like make it more consistent. But I'm not complaining. Definitely not complaining. Okay, off to Sempo. Oh, I think I want Akko. Colleague of yours took a trip to South America for 3 weeks, flew back Monday. Oh, nice. Is it just like one country or like all over? 33 hours. How long were connections then? That's got to be like just really long flight connections, surely. Five connections? What the fuck? Wait, as in like they flew from Wait, do you mean like they were going home from Colombia? So they flew from Colombia to Peru to Bolivia to Brazil and then home from Brazil. Is that what you mean? I think Sekiro Hitless 2 swipe attacks that has almost the same opening animation. Can you describe them like any more specifically if you can? Like which side of him he swings from or anything like that? Because I'm trying to think of which 2 attacks you mean. I'm trying to think of like 2 swipes. Bolivia to somewhere to Sao Paulo to Lisbon to Manchester. Whereas they flew from Brazil to Portugal and then from Portugal back to... Yeah, now I can see why it took them 33 hours. Now I can see why. Dude, I'm lucky that I live like right next to Heathrow and Gatwick pretty much. So that like every international flight to the UK basically flies into one of those 2. So I live really nearby. It's not like we fly into one of those 2 and then I'd have to get like another plane to wherever in the UK I live. So I think that's just like pretty fortunate. Oh, he missed a flight. Yeah, that might also be a reason. Missing a flight does tend to make the trip take longer. So I'm definitely lucky that like I'm just pretty close to Heathrow and Gatwick. Only 2 hours late. That's not so bad then to like miss your flight and only be delayed 2 hours. Like, was it their fault they missed the flight, or was it like another reason? I guess if it's another reason, it would make sense then to try and get them like on a flight as soon as possible. That's the thing, like, if it's not their fault, then I can see, like, airline companies, like, trying to get them on a flight, like, as fast as possible. One swipe hits right after he holds the spear. For another one, he takes a few steps, then hit you. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which two you mean. I think, like, Gobu used to be, like, a massive problem boss for me, so I do probably know the two. Like, if I saw the two of them, then there's a chance that I probably had an issue with them at some point. Because, say, Gobu did used to be a massive problem boss for me. Yeah, I can't really work out which two you mean, sorry. Like, if you, like, have... If you can, like, find them in another video and, like, have timestamps of them, then... Like, with that I could help, but... Like, off the top of my head, I can't work out which two attacks you mean. Are they, like, overhead swipes? Like, from his... Like, from his left or something? Like, I know there are two attacks where if you're stood on his right, then he can, like, swing the spear from his left over to you. Like, around his front at, like, different speeds. I know there's those two attacks, but I don't know if they're the two you mean. So Gyobu used to give me massive problems. I still remember a stream I did where I think in the stream I fought Gyobu like 14 times and I hitlessed him twice. Like he used to be massive problems for me. I would say there are definitely bosses that, like, if they have a spear or like a longer weapon, where depending on how close to them you're stood, they can either hit you with like the actual main spear part or with like the hilt that they're holding. So it's a slightly different timing depending on how close you are. Like there are bosses like that. Like Sword Saint Ishin, Gyobu. I think Seven Spears, the mini boss. He backed away and then did the quick slash. Of course he did. Of course he did. He backed away and then did the one attack that got me killed there. The other attack would have been fine. Well, off to go fight Genichiro again. Oh joy. What a joy. I'm pretty sure there is like a proper safe strat you can do for Centipede. I'm pretty sure there is like an Ash strat for Centipede. So maybe I should do that. Because like phase 1 is fine, but phase 2 can just be a bit of an RNG fest. Wait, do you mean like pushing your thumb against your like lower arm? Because if that's what you mean, then yes, I can. Fucking hurts, but I can just about. Do a ring around? What the fuck do you mean? That's it. Like, I mean, mortal drawing works like most of the time, but yeah, I kind of don't want shit to work most of the time anymore, is the issue. Oh, like, I just need to be really ready in case he backs off, but yeah, whatever you're trying to describe, Will, I've never heard of it. Whatever you're trying to describe, definitely not, because I have never heard of it. I don't know what you're trying to describe. Your middle finger and thumb... Wait, so your middle finger and thumb, yeah? And you're trying to, like, wrap it around which part of your arm? Or wrist? Just under the wrist. What is... Is that supposed to be difficult, is it? Or am I missing something? I thought you talked about some, like, double jointed thing or something, but no, it's basically just, do you have skinny arms? Or, like, skinny enough arms? I do not know what you're on about. That just seems like, do you have skinny arms? The test. Your thumb and pinky can do that. How? Okay, that I definitely can't do. Just how? So I definitely can't do that. I'm gonna like try doing it again. No watch or bracelet ever fit. Oh no. I guess yeah, because like watches are kind of difficult to like size, I guess. Like some watches are quite difficult to like adjust sizes to. It kind of seems funny though that if you can't even like, if it's like difficult to wear watches or bracelets because of that. But like surely it'd be more of an issue if your arms were bigger. Like can't most watches, like you could just make them really tight? Because I swear some of them do have like a lot of like slack that you can, like stuff that you can wrap around and tighten with. Do I know who? No. I do not know who that is. I almost jumped off the edge there. I don't know half of the things you say, but like half the people you mention. Because you either just mention the most random things, or you mention something like something popular, but you manage to say it in a way that no one will know. Hello again, Gyobu. I don't know. So I just don't know half the people you know, or like the ways you describe them. But the way you describe people is like, do you know so-and-so? They were on like this one show one time that 2 people have seen. No, I don't know who they are. Oh yeah, by the way, they were also on this super popular show that everyone has seen. Oh, them, right, yeah. But that's how you describe people. You just pick like the super rare thing first. It's like the Tic Tac or whatever video it was that you sent me, where you described it by like the actual person or like other stuff by the actual person instead of just like what the video is. When like everyone in the country has seen that video. You gave me like the person's name or something. Yeah, I think you know which two attacks you mean, Musa. I think I know. So that definitely caused me a lot. I remember those two attacks specifically being issues because before, after every deflect, I would do like 2 R1s, and I would quite often get caught by the faster version of it. So honestly, the way I like changed it, I know this isn't going to sound like advice, but the way I solved it for me was instead of doing like 2 attacks after every like combo, to only do 1 attack and then like to wait for that one. Like it's one of the attacks that you just have to like expect. Like the one where it takes a few steps is slow enough that you can just react to it normally. But the fast one is like quick enough that you just kind of have to be ready for it. Like I know it sounds like very shit advice of like, oh yeah, just be ready for the attack, but because I don't actually like look at his steps like that. I'm not like looking to see if he does a step, so it's like, oh yeah, he's walking forward, so I know this is the slow attack. But I'm not doing like that. I just kind of have a feel for the timing, or like, well, I can read when he actually starts like doing the attack, or when he actually starts like moving the spear. So I'm not like preemptively deflecting anything. I'm actually waiting for him to start moving the spear before thinking about deflecting. And then reacting to that. So for me, it just means waiting a bit longer. So I'm sure it's a pretty shit explanation, but I say the way I did it was just to like make sure I'm ready for the fast attack at all times. I'm not I'm not trying to say kick. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give advice while at the same time realising that the way I dealt with those attacks was to get good. And I'm trying to like give advice at the same time without saying that. Or like trying to think of an actual proper way to phrase it. Even though my plan was just, yeah, just be ready for it. Like, just learn the timing. Like that's the thing, a lot of it is muscle memory. Like, at the end of the day, a lot of it will come down to muscle memory. Like, it's just a case of... I've lost enough hitless runs to that attack specifically that I'm now very good at that attack specifically because I've had to practice it a lot to make sure I don't lose any more runs to it. Same thing with the demon attack that got me like 2 days ago. Like there was a demon attack in a run that I'd never seen before. I didn't recognise it, I'd never seen it before. And it killed a hitless run like 2 days ago. And so I basically said I didn't know what to do with it. And I asked in like the hitless Discord for advice, and the advice was basically, he can do that, it's a really rare attack, you just need to be ready for it. And after that, I've seen him do it like 3 times, and I've dodged it every single time. Because I'm just ready for it now. You know, it's such a weird thing, but a lot of it does just kind of fall down to muscle memory. Or like if there's like one attack that you really struggle with, just making sure you're always ready for like that attack specifically. I mean, but that's the weird part. You would expect Yobu just to be like a completely free boss because he's the first in the game. But he is surprisingly difficult. Like, I would trust myself more on like True Monk or Father Owl or like Guardian Ape than I would on Gyobu. But I think like Gyobu and Lady Butterfly, for both them being the potential, for both them like potentially being your first boss in the game, they're both like deceptively difficult. Both for like casual challenge runs and then also when it comes to no hit. Like, you know, there's like, even though you can fight Butterfly first in the game, there's a very big reason we fight her like 11th or something like that. Or 12th or something. But definitely compared to like other first bosses from FromSoft games, like Yobu is pretty tough. Compared to stuff like Gundyr, Cleric Beast, Asylum Demon, like Yobu is actually like really tough. No hit Mulaney but can't no hit Yobu. Yeah. I mean, that might be because it's a big difference in playstyle, but yeah, I can definitely understand that. Like, I'm much better at no-hitting something like Midir or like I'm much better at something like Midir or Gale no-hit than I am at like Crystal Sage. Or like Curse Rotted Greatwood. I'm way better at like Gale or Midir or something like that. It's like some early game bosses in these games I just do not understand. I mean, hey, I have done no-hits of Midir, so I've done a no-hit of... I've done no-hits of Gale and Frida as well. I don't know if I've ever no-hit, like, Cinder. I think I've done Twin Princes. Okay, the Twin Prince no-hit strat is so fucking funny. Like, Will, I encourage you to search, like, Dark Souls 3 no-hit and watch the Twin Princes strategy. It's so fucking funny. Like, the most consistent Twin Princes strategy. No, you're not going to. Yeah, fair enough. But rather than like fighting Lorien, you basically just like wait in the edge of the arena and then he slowly like crawls his way towards you. And you spend like half a minute watching Lorien just like crawl his way towards you and then he just does the same one attack over and over again. and you just dodge like that one attack over and over again. And then you do the exact same thing for phase 2. It is like sometimes funny how people can find these sorts of strats. I still don't know how people found like the monk death blow for this. Like the death blow monk with like snaps on fake monk with snap seeds and stuff, or like the guardian ape stun lock, or like I don't understand how people found this sort of thing. I mean, like most things, it's probably found by accident. Like most skips. Like someone was just messing around or like fighting, and they hit Guardian Ape at a certain time and like he re-staggered, or you know, like or someone just ran behind Monk for no reason and was able to like do a death blow, or like it's probably just people like messing around, or even just casually. So it is funny the amount of, also just the amount of like different strats people have for the same thing. I mean, like the amount of different ways you can completely script a boss that everybody finds. Or, well, not necessarily scripts, but like AI loops and things like that. Just all different ways to AI loop, AI break, script, dead angle, cheese, like all this sort of stuff. They find all of those methods just for like the same one boss. I really hope I don't throw another run to Centipede. If I actually make it that far. If I actually make it that far. Who the hell is over there? There's someone running around there. I don't like it. There's someone right above me. Why the hell would you... Who are you? Wait, who is that guy, girl? They seriously ran from up there to come check out what was going on. Well, they ran from like up there all the way around. Where actually are they? I'm just going to hope they don't see me. They saw me. Okay, we're safe. Bullshit. Okay, yeah, keep in mind to rest there. Because I just saw those slowly approaching me. So keep in mind to rest at that idol. Was the run that died to Centipede the first one of this stream? I think it was. I'm trying to work out. I think that was the first. So I think this is only the second run. I was trying to work out how much we've actually done so far. Yeah, I feel like days have started going more quickly now that like sunset is later. You know, like it doesn't feel as late as it actually is, kind of thing. It's definitely like later than it feels a lot of the time now because of sunset. I think last stream ended at like 7 or actually it was after 7, I think. But it definitely didn't feel like it. It was more like 7:30 almost. But yeah, it just did not feel like it. I'd also feel like part of it is because of how fast Sekiro runs are going. Like, you know, because I'm doing like fewer runs per stream now because they're getting to like Senpo and Gunfort and all this stuff. You know, like a run... Like this run I think I've been doing for like 25 minutes almost. And yet we're, you know, not even done with Screen Monkeys. So I think it's also a case of like, you feel that, oh, we've only done like 2 or 3 runs or whatever, or like 2 or 3 attempts, so it must still be quite early. But then, like, attempts take a deceptively long time. So they each take like a deceptively long time because of how far they're going. Like the stream before this one, like earlier today, was 4 hours long, but I think it was like 3 or 4 attempts. Because basically 2 of them... Because like 2 of them went basically the entire distance, you know, so it's only like 4 attempts or something, but we did 4 hours worth of attempts. So I was more of a speedrunner than no-hit. I started Sekiro with speedruns. I used to do speedruns. I was by no means like amazing, but like I knew what I was doing, you know? I wasn't incredible, I was far from like anywhere near the best, but I knew what I was doing and I could do like skips and stuff. But then I like learned no-hit later on. And now, definitely for Sekiro, I'm definitely more of a no-hit runner. Like, if I did a speedrun now, like, probably glitchless, because I'd have to relearn glitches. Like, if I did a speedrun now, it would still be, like, acceptable. You know, it would be far from shocking. But I'm definitely now more of a no-hit. Well, definitely in Sekiro's case. So I haven't actually done no-hit in the other games. Or even tried it, I should say. Yeah, it does help with like some of the challenge I do in Sekiro. There gets to a point where I just prefer. Well, there gets to a point where they're difficult enough that I resort to doing like a speedrun skip. Or like that sort of thing where like knowing a couple skips or knowing some like speedrun strategies like come in helpful. There's definitely been some of that in the videos. But I can just say like, oh, I need to like do this skip, or you know, I need to fight this boss like the speedrun way or something like that. I mean, I would have done some more Sekiro speedruns recently if I could get my live split timer to work. Like, it hasn't worked for Sekiro recently for whatever reason. So I haven't done a Sekiro speedrun in a while. Oh yeah, obviously for Elden Ring, so I've never done Elden Ring no-hit, and the fact that I do all bosses obviously makes me much more of a speedrunner for that game. That's the thing, like, the first few runs of this, like the first couple weeks, had a lot of speedrun stuff in it. And then over time, as I would slowly like make mistakes on the speedrun stuff, it all sort of one by one slowly got traded from the speedrun strats to the slower but safer no-hit strats. So there were a lot of like more risky jumps that I used to do. You know, they would only save like 2 seconds or something, or like 5 seconds or that sort of thing. But because I was confident at doing them, I would always do them. And then I would fail them once and be like, well, for no hit, I can't be failing this. And so I would change it for like the slower and safer no hit strat. I do feel like Elden Ring no-hit would probably be the easiest. Like, if I were to try it now, I honestly feel like I could do a decent job. Like, obviously not like first try or anything like that, but I feel that if I just like tried Elden Ring no-hit right now, I would get a respectable... I think I'd get a respectable amount of hits. Probably like below 20. Honestly, if I had to guess, I think I could get like below 20 hits if I just did an Elden Ring run right now. Oh well, below 20 hits until I get to Elden Beast. And then, because I don't really know... Like, I know the strat for Elden Beast is basically stagger it before it can do Elden Stars. But I obviously don't know how to, like, the setup for that. So I feel like I would get hit a ton on Elden Beast because of Elden Stars. I think everything else I would do, I'd be okay at. Wanna bet? Not really. So being honest, even though I literally just said that, I would bet against it. Even though I literally just said I think I could do a sub 20 hit run, I would definitely bet against it. I think. Yeah, that's the thing. I know Elden Beast can be completely scripted. I just don't know the script. I just don't know the script. So I would end up having to deal with stuff like Elden Stars. Which would probably cause a lot of hits because it's just a complete, like, unreliable, inconsistent shit show to dodge. I think the thing that I would underestimate more than... Well, I think the thing that I underestimate more than anything, like every hitless run, is the areas themselves. Like, you know, I think about the bosses and how difficult they are, but I never really consider areas. I can honestly imagine places like Lanedale and Farum actually, like, causing quite a few issues. Or, like, you know, whichever of the, like, legacy dungeons you need to do for the 2 great runes. Like, no, I think a big thing is I drastically underestimate the areas themselves. I think the bosses I'm pretty decent at judging, like, which ones are tough to no hit and not. Because that's the thing, like, bosses aren't always just the case of if it's difficult to do deathless, it's difficult to no hit type thing. Like, for example, like Lady Butterfly is very easy to do deathless, but very difficult to no hit. You know, especially her second phase. So being easy to, like, beat every time doesn't make it, like, an easy no hit necessarily. I feel like I'd be pretty good at judging that. If only Radagon was the only final boss. That, or... I think that, or if they did a similar thing with Bloodborne, with the final bosses, where, like, once you kill Radagon once, Radagon is dead. You know, like once Radagon has been killed, Radagon is dead. And whenever you attempt the final boss again, if you die to Elden Beast, you only have to fight Elden Beast. You know, a similar thing with the 2 final bosses in Bloodborne. Once the first one is dead, they stay dead. If you die to Moon Presence, then you retry the fight at Moon Presence. I think they should have done that. I definitely feel like that would have been better. Because as it stands, like, Radagon Elden Beast is a pretty fucking difficult fight. That's it, like, Radagon, like, that's the sad part. If we're talking, like, boss rankings, like, Radagon is such a good fight, but he kind of gets dragged down because he is paired with Elden Beast. You know, because they're effectively a phase 1 and phase 2. Like, I mean, some people rank them separately, but like, I always rank them as the same fight because they're phase 1 and phase 2. You know, they're just a very different phase 1 and phase 2. Kind of like King of the Storm into Nameless King or something like that. Like, they're very different phases, but they're still like the same boss fight. I need to get my confetti on. Ash and confetti. Yeah, I guess that's another thing. I feel like Elden Ring's structure is very similar to Dark Souls 2, in the sense that like the first half of the game is completely open, and you have a choice of like 4 paths as to which way you want to go. And then as soon as you like go through the mid game, it's just like one straight line to the end. Like almost just a boss rush. You know, it's just like one straight line. And there's no like deviation from that. It's like you have the 4 paths at the start, and then everything kind of converges in Lanedale, and then it's just a straight line for requirements. That is what we call an uncooperative ape. Holy fucking shit. But I still remember the 1.00 run, like the 1.00 playthrough, where there wasn't a stake of Marika for Gideon. So dying to Gideon put you back like at the Lanedale bonfire, and you had to do that entire run again. I still remember the absolute pain that that caused. Like just dying to Gideon, then like respawning at the actual grace rather. That was not fun. That was definitely not fun. I mean, you're close, Yammer. Not quite. Still have another boss. Not quite time for Owl yet. Time for Monk yet. Also, nice profile picture agility. I noticed that a bit earlier and just kind of like did a double take at it. Keeping with the law. No clip into Fountainhead? I mean, I could. Like, with glitches, Owl is an optional boss. Like, with glitches, I could just glitch my way to Fountainhead right now. Yeah, no hit. No hit for some dumb reason, banned glitches. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that glitches would be banned for no hit? I'd say you only need to beat Monk. Like, as soon as you beat Fake Monk, you can go to, like, as soon as you beat Fake Monk, you can go to Fountainhead. Are you serious? Since when could he do that? Are you fucking kidding me? Since when could he do that there? Yeah, that counts as a hit. Because it's a stagger. I'm just going to pull up the actual, like, website for the rules, but I am, like, 98% certain that that's a hit. I'm, like, pretty confident that that's a hit. Staggers from phase transitions are hits. Deflections on Blazing Ball are not allowed. Lightning reflections count as a hit except in Divine Dragon. Armed Warrior Ozen Cheese is allowed. Great Shinobi Owl's Smoke Bomb is a hit. Yep. Yep. That counts as a hit. For fuck's sake. Like, it's because it's a stagger. Like, in general, for no-hit, staggers count as a hit. And the Smoke Bomb is a stagger. It's definitely not the dumbest no-hit rule. Like, I think that's a perfectly valid rule. It's just annoying that Al decided to do it there. Like, he should have just done, like, a normal attack. The other issue with the Smoke Bomb, though, is it's such an... Thank you. The issue with the smoke bomb is that it's practically undodgeable, like, if he does it. Like, there are lots of ways to stop Al doing it, but if he actually does it, it's practically undodgeable. You have to be, like... No, as soon as he starts doing the animation, you have to just start sprinting away from him. And even then, I swear it's still, like, pretty close as to whether you actually dodge it or not. Yeah, thank you for all the lasers, Klaus. Missed out on all bosses today because because I was doing this instead. Because I didn't get it yesterday. So yeah, dump all of the lasers. All 100 and... it's probably around like 155. I'm trying to think of how many like bosses we don't Sonaf. I guess there's some that we do Sonaf, but we do the fire instead. Yeah, I'm not reading that. This will be the run though. But I'm not reading the next part. You don't Sonaf Ishin because he's not in Elden Ring. That is true. That is actually true. Let's see. You don't do it to Soldier of Godric. You don't do it to Patches. Or Godskin Noble or Rykard. So that's 4. Revenant and Esgar are 5, 6. Noxturo you fire, so that's 7. I'm trying to think of others that you Icewind. Oh, like all of the Crystallians, that's 8, 9, 10, 11. Udula we use Sonaf, but we actually kill her with Icewind. That's 12. Smarag is 13. Knight's Cavalry cheese off the edge. That's 14. I think at the moment I'm at 14 that I can think of where I don't kill with Sonaf. I think there are only 4 bosses before we get Sonaf. Oh, Red Wolf, 15. Like Red Wolf and Ray Lucaria. There've got to be some others. I'm trying to just think of like random catacombs. Oh, Invisible Black Knife Assassin is another one, so that's 16. I kind of want to say Garrus, but I can't remember if I Sonaf him or not. I'll I'll say we do. Let's keep it at 16. Yeah, I think I'm at 16 for bosses that we don't kill with Sonaf. Which would mean 149 with Sonaf. So we do Soldier of Godric, Patches, Godskin Noble, and Rykard before we get Sonaf. Like, those are the ones we do beforehand. So we're at 16. Unless there's any other, like, Omega magic bosses. Like, I mean, Vanilla we still use Sonaf, but I guess we use the fire. So you could maybe count Vanilla. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any others. I actually don't know. Actually, I don't know if I do it for Kindred of Rot duo. That might be another one. I can't remember what I used for that fight. Yeah, so probably somewhere around like 16 to 18 bosses that we don't Sonaf. Like something around that region, or bosses that we don't laser, I should say. Like somewhere around that. Which I guess Mimic Tier. Which could be 19. Or 20 for the other Mimic Tier as well. So yeah, there aren't that many. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of surprised the Sekiro doesn't have like a Patches equivalent. I am actually kind of surprised. Yeah, the Great Serpent just has Patches' face on it. But that's actually just Patches. Like when you do the death blow for like the fresh viscera, you're just like death blowing Patches. I mean, it's not completely out there. Like, Patches is a spider in Bloodborne, so it's not completely out there to say he could be a snake. Because why not? Because why the fuck not? All Patches could be the carp. Like, he could also just be the carp. Because the carp is like, it does have a human face pretty much, so why not just make it Patches? Why not just make that face Patches, you know? I feel like that could work. And then getting like killed by the cart would make a lot more sense. Because it's actually just Patches getting revenge. Oh, very interesting trivia, Klaus. I'll keep that in mind. Very, very interesting. Like, honestly, for not being Bloodborne, Sekiro does have some pretty fucked up enemies. So I feel like Patches could fit into just about any of them. Patches is actually everyone in the game. Like, they're actually just all Patches. It's always been Patches. I mean, he actually kind of is. Like, I feel like... I feel like that trade that like meets you in Hirata is kind of supposed to be like the Patches of this game, like in a way. Or rather, he's like the closest thing this game has to a Patches. So I don't think he does, like... Does he trick you in Hirata at all? I can't remember what he says in Hirata. But what are you doing? What is this dude doing? Okay, actually, what are you doing? Okay. We do indeed have cheese for just about every boss except the boss that I lost my last one to. Well, actually, we do have a cheese for that boss, but I fucked up the cheese. So I think we're definitely going with some Swiss cheese today. Lots of cheese, but also a lot of holes in it. It's a lot of cheese, but it keeps going wrong. Still annoyed at that fucking owl hit though. Like, it's such a dumb thing to get hit by. I'd say it's definitely far from the dumbest rule for no hit, like in Sekiro, but like, I think it's a perfectly fine rule. It's just annoying that I've actually had to use it. Add the prosthetic submachine gun to the Tomaway DLC. Ah, yes. Of course. I mean, it can't be, like, too long until that releases, right? Like, it's got to be pretty close. Like, it must have been in development for a while now. Surely any day now they're going to announce the DLC for Sekiro. Surely it will happen. Yeah, I was hitting Genny with like the very, very edge of the sword. So this is a shit position to be fighting in. Oh. The fucking just teleport into the ground when he dies. Yep, lightning reversal counts. I'd say even if I weren't doing no hit, no damage, and I were just doing no hit, lightning reversal counts as a hit. Which I think is definitely one of the dumbest ones. I definitely feel that's one of the dumb rules. That one and that the Divine Dragon's like wind gusts count as a hit. In my opinion, those are definitely the two dumbest. The Divine Dragon rule is definitely worse in my opinion. Like it's not a stagger. Like just because something is avoidable doesn't mean it should be a hit. Yes, like you're allowed to reverse lightning with either Sakura Dance or Mist Raven. You're also allowed to do it with Mist Raven. But just like jumping up, catching the lightning, then chucking it back, you're not allowed to do. That is banned. So just because something is avoidable doesn't mean it should be a hit. And I think that's like the only place. I think that's like the only place. Yeah, the only place where that actually comes into play is Armored Warrior's like big Omega combo. Like the last hit will always posture break you. Like even if you perfectly deflect it, it will posture break you if your posture's maxed. And so the only thing is that they consider that to not be a hit, even though you get posture broken. Even though it is technically avoidable, either by doing like a really well-timed dodge or by like upgrading your vitality and posture. So I think the argument for Divine Dragon is like, well, A, it doesn't do damage. Like you don't actually have to like deflect it per se. But I guess like most of the argument just comes from the fact that it's kind of required. Like, I mean, I think like really technically speaking, I don't actually think it's 100% required. I think you can actually like R1 or Mortal Draw spam Dragon enough to actually trigger phase 2 without lightning. But say they allow it for Dragon and then it's banned for like Genny and Ishin. Unless you have Sakura Dance or Mist Raven. Which kind of feels a bit weird to me. Because like, you're allowed to do it if you have Mist Raven. But in order for Mist Raven to work, you need to get hit. Like the whole point of Mist Raven is you get hit by the lightning and then redirect it. Like Mist Raven doesn't work if you don't get hit by the attack. So I kind of feel like that one's a bit odd, but but it's allowed. I mean, there are also some other like questionable ones. Like just the fact that the fake monk stealth death blow is allowed is questionable. Because that death blow is like borderline a glitch. Like with like sneaking behind monk and then pulling monk far enough back to do the death blow, it's like it's borderline a glitch. So that one's also, I think, a bit questionable. But I mean, hey, they allow it, so I'm gonna do it. If you're just gonna give me a free pass on not fighting a boss, I am gonna take it. Even if I don't necessarily agree if it should be allowed, if you're gonna let me do it, I'm gonna do it. So it's allowed for like glitchless speedruns as well. But say that one is debatable. Like you can argue in both cases for it like being or not being a glitch. Which tool do I think is most useful? Well, for this one, the only tool I actually use is the shuriken. Like, for the route I do, the only thing I use is shuriken. And I only use that for Shinobi Owl and Lady Butterfly. And also use it to, like, clear out some enemies here and there. Especially in Hirata. Firecrackers can also be very helpful against Ape. And also, like, just humanoid bosses to, like, stun them quickly. But, I mean, the most useful, I definitely feel, is the shuriken. Like, it's definitely the most versatile. For, like, forcing enemies to attack you, clearing them out, hitting them in midair. Like, Flame Bow is good, like, if you can... I do the full thing. The one I use the most casually is the Lotus Umbrella. But I think that's just because I fought Inner Ishin a lot casually. And he has some of, like, the attacks that you want to, not the Lotus, the Lilac one, the, like, purple one. I use that the most casually for stuff like Headless and, like, Inner Ishin and this sort of stuff. I feel like the spear is also, like, decent in its situation. Obviously, against, like, Headless Ape, the spear is really good. I mean, best item in general, like, not just tool, but best item is, like, by far Mortal Blade. Like, Mortal Blade does a shit ton of damage and just cancels everything. You know, so, like, just best thing is definitely Mortal Blade. Yeah, Lilac I use a ton for, like, Headless Shichiman and Inner Ishin. And then Lotus is for, like, Demon of Hatred. But sadly, they both have incredibly long skill trees to unlock, so they're not viable to get for this run. Like, it's not worth getting either of them. Even if it would allow me to, like, parry Demon of Hatred or, like, some of his attacks. Like, the whole skill tree is way too long. It would be cool, though, like, being able to do that. Sadly, that is not the case. But, like, anti-air death blow is also fun. Like, it's not exactly useful, but it's a lot of fun. And goodbye. Yeah, I know you can do it on Shituin Warrior. I think you can also do it on, like, the White Monkey in Sunken Valley. But I could be wrong. Yeah, anti-air death blow is just fun. Even if it's, like, barely usable anyway, it's just fun. At the times it can be used. Yeah, I saw that, Yammer. Why? I saw that when I went to like start this stream that you were there. Like just why? I guess because you felt like it, I don't know. Not even interested in voice reveal. I reckon I should do a voice reveal at some point. Whoopsies. Oh, come on. I have enough spare gatchines. I get enough gatchines this run, it's fine. Yeah, I think a voice reveal for me would be a pretty big step. Pretty monumentous occasion. I think I just need to like work up the courage to do one. I don't actually know exactly how many like spare gatchines I have. I want to say I have like, I get like 2 spare this run. I'm not certain. I guess we're going to find out if I run out of gatchines later. So if I go to do like the Drunkard 2 strand, just don't have a gatchine, we know why. But now we should have enough. I've never played Sifu, so I don't know. I've never played it. I mean, I've heard it's good, but never tried it, so I don't know. Okay, let's try not to get trolled by Centipede again. Do not do any bullshit. Okay, we're fine. He did not do bullshit. Yeah, that is canonically patches now. Centipede has become patches. If I get hit would I end stream? At this point, yes. It's about 20 to midnight where I am. So at this point, yeah, whenever this run dies, I would end. Like maybe do a like 5-10 minutes of just practice to like check a couple things, but this is definitely last run. Because we did like 4 hours earlier. We did like over 4 hours of runs earlier today. And got 2 very, very good ones. But they weren't good enough. Well, that's that. Whoops. Whoopsies. Oh shit. Of course it's going to be like the literal first thing I fire after saying that. Like, of course it's going to be the literal first thing. What? Oh dear. How can I not beat Snake Eyes all of a sudden? Oh dear. Do I really have to do stuff tomorrow? Yeah, that's not so difficult to fucking deflect, is it? How did I fuck that one up? Yeah, I have like 3 days left to get this shit. To get this shit done. Seriously, how is this what I fuck up? Let me do it one more time just to make me feel like even more of a prat. I don't want to know what joke you have lined up, Yama. But it can't be a good one. Yeah, I am a prat. God fucking damn it, how did I lose a run to that? Well, we may be back again tomorrow. Whoop-de fucking do. Okay, what's this joke? Yeah, I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of that. God fucking damn it. Well, we've got tomorrow, Friday, Saturday to try and get this one. So God fucking help me. We're cutting it close. So yeah, that's going to be me done. I assume now I've got to fucking go live tomorrow to do more attempts of this shit. So you'll get to see me tomorrow as well, yay. Yeah, I'm going to head off now, so have a good evening / night, everyone, and looks like I'm going to be fucking live tomorrow, so take care.